Hello, Tony. Welcome. Ray tracing on.
Right?
Nuts
RTX
quaking
on.
enabled.
Is that what is that the option?
Trust me. When you fire this game up, your little nuts are gonna start quaking, buddy. Um,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm quaking already.
I'm so fucking excited for Quake 2 Remastered. QuakeCon is gonna be soon, and hopefully that's when they announce it. And yeah, I've been playing more Boomer Shooter, Tony. Still playing the Boomer Shoots. Absolutely love them.
I
The first,
mean,
yeah.
I'm not surprised in the slightest.
And the first one I'm going to be talking about today is my first New Blood game. I've only ever played demos of New Blood games so far. It is a medieval, and this is the spiritual successor to Hexen or Heretic,
Right.
magic boomer shooter.
Yeah, I was actually excited for this one because I feel like we need more. I mean, okay, I guess to be fair, like Bimishes are kind of the place of like having, like, well, at least good ones of like having interesting weapons. So I can't really complain. But
Mm.
something about magic weapons where I just feel like you can be more creative.
I already love these fucking Quake difficulty selecting warp gates, and it's like you want to go to the medium difficulty, you have to prove you can press the jump button. Oh, by the way, are you enjoying the ray traced lighting?
It looks fantastic. It
Yeah,
really
I
like
love how it's like
I feel like
it's like crunchy.
lighting is good even with old textures
It's
or like
like
old looking textures.
crunchy pixels with
Yeah,
lighting. Is just it looks great. Anyway, I'm
yeah.
turning a head bobbing off because I hate head bobbing. Um,
I
if
didn't
you
even notice.
well, whenever I play a Doom mod, I always turn off head bobbing because it's a feature you can turn
Yeah,
off on GZ Doom. Fuck
yeah,
you, GZ Doom mods that don't allow you to turn that off, because it really
yeah.
annoys the
There
hell out of
should be
me.
an option. Like it's definitely like it's like inverted or like inverted like sayings is like you kind of have to have an option
Mm.
for those.
Oh, like invert controls.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise, like some people just like that's just how they think is that you can't not have that as an option.
Well, I wanted to play Dusk, right? Because Dusk is finished,
Okay.
and but Dusk is also getting like massive workshop stuff with like a full like HD texture version of it, and I was like, oh, I want to fuck with that when that comes out. So I was like, I'll
Right.
play something else. Ultra Kill's not finished. They're still releasing chapters for it, and as you know, based on my Ultra Kill demo playthrough, when I played the demo on itch.io in like 2019, I'm very good
Yeah.
at that game already. You know, beat the boss and everything. Um,
Yeah. One run.
But so I was like, you know what? I'll try medieval because this game looks absolutely gorgeous, and I can tell you it definitely is. Um, so the main way that you use your weapons here is you have an axe as your melee weapon, and you then pick up different colored orbs as ammo for different colored weapons. So there's a staff which uses blue mana. Then there's a green. The first one you get is like a sword that you slash, um, and then that sends out like waves of energy that hit people. Like most of the
Hmm.
weapons are, even though they're sort of like medieval wizardy themed, there are very much like ranged guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's only really the axe that's the melee weapon that you kind of go back to if you run out of ammo, especially if you're playing on like those higher difficulties. I think probably my favorite one is probably the green spiked mace, and every time you swing it forward, it sends out a bunch of spikes, and the spikes can impale enemies into walls. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
that's
that
cool.
shit feels really cool to use. Yeah.
Especially got proper like an impact and like
And then
knockback
you
as
have
well.
like a soul meter here, which then every time you activate it by collecting enough souls, your weapons get an enhanced effect, which means they deal like more damage, and they have like a special like um, the blue staff, for example, is quite good against like flying enemies because it slightly tracks enemies when you fire it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, I'm seeing cracks in the wall. I'm trying to find secrets. That's what I'm doing right now. And but when you activate the soul power on it, it becomes like a fucking machine gun. It just starts firing like crazy. Um,
Medieval
or
machine gun.
yeah,
I'm all for that.
I love like the RPG in this game is a staff with planets on it, and you fire the planets as like rockets.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And
Yeah.
it's like random planets, and sometimes the planet's the Earth, and then you shoot it, and it's like it says in the chat, it's like you blew up the Earth. Oh no, which I find hilarious.
Interesting.
I gotta say as well, spoiler for an upcoming video. I've been playing this game in VR as well, and it's also really fucking fun. A Medieval VR just came out like this year, and it's really fun in VR as well. Especially when you like physically swing all the weapons. Like I was physically swinging the sword and the mace. And
I
with
could
the
really
rocket launcher, you can use your other hand to pick up the planets and then just throw them like grenades, like yeet them. That shit's really cool. Yeah.
You don't have to fight like a rocket launcher then.
Yeah. I played through all of the chapters on this game. And I thought it was really cool. We do know, like, because the base game chapters are finished for this, they are releasing the Black Labyrinth later, which is going to be like an expansion that looks really, really cool. But that's going to be like an expansion sort of thing.
You have to pay for it then.
I think it's going to be a DLC. Yeah, I don't actually know if it's going to be free or not. Don't quote me on this. I assume it's probably going to be paid DLC.
Yeah,
they've already done quite a few like updates on the base game.
I feel like it makes sense, right? They're putting effort into this, so I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very happy. I mean, I'm always a big fan of I guess, fancy medieval stuff, and like it being a shooter as well is very interesting to me. So yeah, the lighting is much better than I was expecting. Actually, like, I think I knew it was ray traced. I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of the few like old school sort of games that's. I mean, I say old school. I mean, there's been a lot of mods that add like ray tracing, lighting, and stuff like that to older games. But this is like a game that's designed to be like an older school game, and it's now.
Yeah.
It's using that art style, but it's also incorporating new stuff, which is really cool to see. I believe it's running on Unreal Engine 4 is the engine it's using as well. It's not... Obviously, I don't think you could run something like this in Doom, but also I'm very willing to be proven wrong. Have you seen some of the shit you can run in Doom?
Yeah, it's kind of insane. We covered some of the crazy stuff on here, haven't we? Was there even more crazy stuff?
I love that every time there's a YouTuber called Civi11, and every time he makes a video about one of these, they put the quote on the store page, and
that's cool.
He always says, "I can't say shit about these games because motherfucking Dave Oshry will put my quote on this." But on the store page, it says, "Makes my dick hard enough to cut glass, Civi," which I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good way to describe it.
It's a colourful quote. It's for the box.
I think there's lots of cool episodes. Like there's definitely a lot of like drastically changes between them. Like I'm trying to remember what the episode was called, but there's one where you're like in a void, pretty much, and it gets like super trippy, and it very much becomes like these wide open areas where you can just like fall off the map, and there's just like tons of enemies coming at you. I think you fight a dragon at one point as well. But yeah, it gets like super crazy into like the later episodes. There's like tons of variety between the like different worlds you go to, which is really, really cool to see. I thought the boss battles were pretty cool. They were quite varied. There's like mechanics. There's like a forge guy, and you can only damage him with like these pipes that come down. You have to like activate them at the right time to damage him. So there's like actual mechanics to them rather than
just shoot.
Like the first Quake boss, which is like one of the biggest crimes against humanity, where you just sort of run around in circles.
Yeah, you didn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that when you like exclaimed, "Is that it?" was that a different one?
I don't remember. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of bosses in Quake where you're like, oh, is that it? Like the boss design in
Yeah.
that game's not great, but
I appreciate good boss design, so that's good to hear.
it's another great game where I never felt like I was getting lost at all. There was
Oh
very,
really?
very
Okay.
few times where I was like, I have no fucking idea where I'm going. Because when people make a lot of these like spiritual successor throwback boomer shooter games, they're like, oh, when you played like fucking Heretic or Hexen, you had to push 17 different buttons hidden in different locations about the map, and you just knew that you had to do that. And it's not doing
Yeah.
shit like that. It does kind of guide you through it, and I would say
It,
like,
yeah.
I mean, whether you think that's a staple of old school game design or not, I definitely think that, you
Yeah,
know,
it's
having well designed maps that sort
yeah.
of push you in the direction you're supposed to be going is maybe a good thing, but
It sounds like they took the good stuff and then just omitted the bad stuff. But yes, that's good
I
to
think
see.
honestly my biggest complaint about this game is water. Water is always a
Yeah,
pain in the ass. And
it doesn't look great either.
I
It's
was
fine,
constantly
but
struggling to get out of water. And I don't know why it was so hard. But I
at
feel
that
like
time.
it. I thought maybe it was just me, and then I looked it up, and it was like other people are complaining about it. And I was like, oh, maybe this is like an actual issue that
It
other people are experiencing.
From what we saw
Um,
earlier, like it kind of looked like a ledge grabbing. Like it wouldn't let you like, oh, you're in water and at a ledge. It should like then
hmm.
automatically bring you up. It didn't look like it was doing that, which I think is how most other
Well,
games handle
it's got a
that.
lot of shooting buttons. That's very Quake-esque. Well, oh, exiting a level. Here we go. Level 1 complete. I love this art as well, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, what?
That's you.
Okay.
And then it has like these level stats of how many enemies you killed, how many secrets you got, how fast you did it. You can like speedrun levels. Um,
Yeah. Oh, is there? I was gonna ask, is there a map in this game? So you just don't need it, so
I don't actually remember. Um, Maybe? I think so.
okay.
Let me see if I remember. Does it have a minimap? Honestly,
I'm just wondering,
the
was it so good that you didn't even think about it?
I honestly didn't think about it if it did have one. I can't like actually I can't actually remember if this had a mini map or not.
Okay.
That's how good it is.
I would argue that's high praise.
Uh, Skip ahead a bit. Go and find some more gameplay for you. Oh, this is the sword I was talking about. I think you've seen it before.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. I quite like the sword. I quite like. So far, I don't think there's any weapon I look and go, oh, I don't like that.
There's another like with the blue one because you have like the staff, which is like your anti-flying weapon.
Yeah.
You then also it becomes a single target weapon, where it's sort of like the thunderbolt from Quake, where it's basically like a trident, and it sends out a bolt of lightning. And if you hold it down on one enemy, eventually it'll make them explode and deal damage AOE, which is
Okay.
really fucking cool. And they also have their own version of the BFG, which you can, and if you supercharge it, it makes a black hole.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Because you're like firing planets, right? And then you're like, well, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to make a giant fucking black hole. It just pull.
Nice.
Oh,
I agree.
this is the trident I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, I like this trident.
Yeah. Really, really fucking cool.
Yeah. Also, like the effects, like with the ray tracing, is very nice.
Yep.
Wait, could you like like they have like their own like waves, so you can intercept them with your like energy waves?
Yeah, I think you can hit them and it like sort of
That's like a
deflects them.
interesting way to do like a parry in a boomer shooter. I kind of like
Oh, this
that.
game has cheat codes as well, which I found out because I needed to do there was an achievement for finishing a what was it? Oh, I have every achievement in this game, by the way. Actually,
Oh, okay.
I just remembered I 100% of the medieval because I was like,
It's
oh,
that good.
I don't have that many. I don't have that many achievements of getting 100%. Why not just 100% this? And there was one where it was like, kill every single enemy in one of the episodes, and I had one mission where I couldn't find the mission. But there's a cheat you can type in that will just show you where all the enemies spawn.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, that's pretty useful. I'll use that. But it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if you want to play the game differently and use cheat codes or whatever to do different things. You can turn God mode on, like old school sort of. That you can literally no clip and stuff like that if you want to. Like it just gives you the freedom that you would have in like one of these. Like the first time I played Half-Life 2, I was 12 years old and I was terrified of Ravenholm, and the only way I could play it was I had to turn God mode on because I was too scared of dying to the zombies. And but yeah, I may not have played Half-Life 2 if I didn't have cheats. Like the game was too hard for me back then. Like I was using, there's a command called SV Impulse 101 after you type SV_cheats1, and then you can get infinite ammo. Like I've gone back now and played Half-Life 2 with like on hard mode and without any cheats, but like
I still choose to believe you change it for Ravenholm.
I always used to type greed is good in Warcraft 3. That one gave you a bunch of gold in Warcraft 3.
It's like Sims Motherload.
Yeah, Motherload, I use that all the time in The Sims. I think there's like such a negative stigma about cheating now that we've got into the older multiplayer. Don't get me wrong, I think cheating in multiplayer is really dumb, and I don't agree with that, but in a single-player game, doing whatever the fuck you want in your single-player game should always be an option, in my opinion.
Yeah, but there's always the things like, oh, I have to compare my single-player experience with someone else's single-player experience. And so I don't think you have to.
But yeah.
Don't. I thought. Well, I don't remember who said it, but it's like comparisons like suck the joy out of life. I can't remember who said that. And it's like it's so true.
Comparisons suck the joy out of life. I don't know.
Yeah, if you compare yourself to others.
The grass is always greener on the other side. I've heard that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a similar thing to that.
But the general thing is you're going through levels, you get keys that are different colors. Oh, I can never tell the difference between the color in the keys. I think I struggle with that in HROT as well. It's like you have the copper key, you have the iron key, and it's like they look exactly the same.
They're quite similar. Okay.
But I told you I was giving games stars recently, based on my initial thoughts. So don't take this with a massive grain of salt. Medieval got 4.5 stars. It lost half a star because of the water. Too much water, guys. Do you remember you remember the IGN meme of Pokemon?
Yeah, I do.
Too much water, guys.
We have to plug your point somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. But let's move on to the next boomy shoot I've been playing recently, which is HROT. And I think I played this originally. We talked about this on a Tangerine or a demo festival or something.
Yeah, it was like some sort of.
I was like,
thing, right?
"What the fuck is this?" I always looked at it and I went, "I don't understand what this is." It's like everything's grey and brown. Everything's brown. It's sewers. It's dark.
Then we saw the enemy.
It's Soviet, and then I was like, "But there's also a fucking horse with a gas mask running at me. Why am I so terrified?"
It was.
And after playing Quake, I immediately got it. You asked me what engine this was running on. I was like, probably Unity. I looked it up. Apparently, this is a custom engine written in Pascal, imitating 1990s software-style rendering with unfiltered textures and polygon jitter.
What I know about Pascal, I don't know much about Pascal, but like, I don't think it's an easy language to use from what I remember of it. So.
I like how the mature content description on this page says, not suitable for youth under the age of 30 by the decision of the committee. As you play through this game, you will see the very like heavy Soviet themes. Like you're in some sort of weird, like, I think it's Czechoslovakian place that you're in.
Right.
But something's got
an ex-Soviet...
Yeah, it's very it's very ex-Soviet. You can like, there's an interactable. You can like kiss photos of like Soviet-looking leaders and stuff like that. There's like tons of weird stuff. Like again, guys, you've got to check if there's a crack in the wall. You've got to see if you can blow it up. There might be a secret behind it.
You need to get your crowbar out and just start smashing all the boxes. You might find a secret.
I mean, the melee weapon in this game is a fucking sickle. So. You can already tell it's a very Soviet game.
Yeah.
That's what was taking me so long to figure out. Don't let the rats get you; they'll fuck you up.
It's just so small, though.
Yeah. Well, I think this game doesn't have.
It's very brown, but I understand what they're going for.
I think
so
this.
I'll let them off.
Oh yeah, you can just unstack these Russian stacking dolls, and I don't know
That
why,
is
but you can.
satisfying
Yeah,
though.
it is. It is. Um,
I like that. That's cool.
yeah. There is uh HROT has a ton of interactables for no reason other than they thought it'd be cool if you can interact with them. Is what I feel like.
Yeah,
It has tons of those. Oh, I'm just gonna heal with
I appreciate that
some
in games.
tasty canned poultry. Um, make sure to get
Sounds
that going.
delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, like they have in their about features flushable toilets, destructible light bulbs, horses with gas latex masks. In short, conservative values that never disappoint. Um,
Okay,
yeah,
that's good humor. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
think
but
the enemies I think are like impressed me. Like I just found that the most interesting, like the uniqueness of the at least the look of the enemies at the very least. Is there like a lot of variety in the enemies?
yeah. Oh, there's definitely a lot of variety when you get towards the end. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So I think I've
Um,
only ever seen like I assume that the
Oh,
demo
there's a it's a
a
boomer
few players
shooter.
at the
You get to
start.
shoot radicalized dogs. Don't worry,
Wow,
guys.
well, Soviet
They're not
dogs.
good dogs. They're bad dogs.
Yeah.
But the reason I was playing this was because it's just come out of early access. This is officially released now.
Okay.
So the full game is out.
Oh,
Yeah,
flushable toilet.
flushable toilets. We've got footage of it right here. There's a fucking drivable like scooter that you can drive around mid mission even for like
Okay.
no reason. Oh, one thing I really
Farming then.
don't know. What? Oh, you can kick. That's your like quick melee is
Oh,
kicking.
okay, kicking's good.
Oh, this is the guy. I was like, you can kiss this photo of this like Soviet dictator looking dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
should
kiss
know
it.
who that is, but I don't.
I don't know. I feel like some of
Well,
it
these are
might be
probably
made
just.
up, but it's like,
Well, there's a base one not like a real one. I don't know who that is.
hmm. Yeah, I played the whole of Medieval and HROT, and one of my biggest complaints about them is there's no mods. There's no like
Oh no,
a
okay.
map creator or workshop, or I tried looking up if there was any like custom maps for them, and I couldn't find any. So
That's kind of
I'd love to. Well, the games are sick on their own, but I'd love to be able to just load up some custom HROT maps or stuff like that. Although the dev of HROT actually recently made a short little experimental mod that turned HROT into Bomberman, straight with
Okay.
all of the assets of HROT, which is like pretty funny. Which is cool
Interesting.
to see. I'm guessing the reason that we don't have a map creator for a Medieval is because they are working on the Black Labyrinth. Like everyone keeps asking them about when's the Black Labyrinth coming out.
Right. So all the development is on is
Yeah,
dedicated
I'm
to that
sure it'll
only
come
again.
later, as sort of thing.
Yeah, you totally. Yeah, I know like these creators and things like or like map creators and like content stuff like that to make it like user friendly and like ship with the game is a lot different than like the tools they use to develop the game. So it's always extra development time.
Hmm. Like one of the big enemies in this game is fucking bears. Like you'll just be like, "Oh fuck, there's a bear," and you just get absolutely destroyed
Yeah.
by one.
Well, okay, is there just like a normal bear that just mauls you, or does it have? Is it like
Oh,
a
they did a lot of
radiation
damage.
bear?
No, they're like a normal
Okay.
bear.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you what the final boss of HROT is? Because it's kind of hilarious.
I mean, yeah, go on then.
It's spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna ever play.
The
I mean, I
fu-
might, but
the final boss of HROT is Vladimir Putin riding on a fucking bear.
okay.
And then you do a gastro coscopy on him, and you go inside him, and it's like another level.
Right.
Yeah, like this
Okay.
game gets pretty fucking weird.
I thought there might be some social commentary here
Yeah.
somewhere.
As you can see there, I died, and I'm starting the level again because this game doesn't have quick saves. It doesn't have autosave, so but it does have a quick save
Sounds
system,
brutal.
which
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
mind a quick save system. Like, but you see, Tony, I immediately know to shoot the the electrical panel, and I'm moving through a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You see that fucker? That rat did like 5 HP with me. That was insane.
A tiny little rat.
Yeah, people are just talking about the bosses. It's like, one of the bosses is a living gym horse that fires missiles. Oh, one of them is you go into... I think one of the first bosses you fight is like... It's a gorilla statue that comes to life and starts attacking you. It's like... It's like, there's these themes of like... I almost want to say like... It feels like this mix of like weird science and Soviet science with like almost like eldritch themes. Oh, there's lots of books about Lenin in the game as well.
Well, you have to have that.
Yeah, let's see if I can skip ahead. Get my SMG out. Show some water. The water's better in this game because it's brown sewage water instead of the nice clean water that's in a medieval. That's how you know it's good. If you're in a sewer in a boomer shooter, you know you're in the right place.
I think I'm pro sewer levels, I think, so...
I didn't use mines that much. I'm never a fan of mines in games because generally it kind of wants you to stand still to place mines, and that kind of just slows down the theme. It's like when I died to like an enemy jumping out of nowhere, that's when I was like, oh okay, the next time that happens I'll throw a mine down first.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the scooter I was talking about. There's a drivable scooter.
God. It's like Why though? This is just someone left it here, I suppose.
I don't know, Tony, but they programmed that in Pascal.
Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, the more it's like in their own custom engine. It's just such a lot of work for this. Like this, I mean, I guess it shows how skilled they are. I suppose. And I guess they got a lot of. I hope they got a lot of skill. Learning how to do.
If you're looking for a really solid boomer shooter that is like Soviet Quake. I can't think of a game to recommend more than HROT. I gave it. Let's have a look. What did I give it? I gave it 4 stars. I think it was. It wasn't like the longest. No, I think it was a bit shorter than a medieval.
Right.
I think I completed it in about 6 hours.
Okay, yeah, it's not too long.
Whereas a medieval 8 hours. I guess, I don't know. I think I had a lot of fun with both of these games. Again, take my star ratings with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I think I love both of these games. And if you're a fan of shooters, I would heavily recommend checking out both of these. Do not be put off by the visuals. They are intentionally looking like this. They add the atmosphere and the you know, the aesthetic. Oh, I lost my scooter, I think, because I tried and drive it down into the sewers. That was so sad. Let's play Despacito.
You wanted to be like a companion through the whole game.
Yeah. Anyway. And yeah, that's the end of Tangerine. If you thought these games were cool, check them out, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.